Okay, this is an add-on to one of the lessons, finding equations given the zeros. Now, I want to kind of think back for a second. If we have the equation in factored form, how do we find the zeros? Well, you set each factor equal to 0. So here, we'd have x squared equals 0, which is easy. X equals 0, and that's actually a double. X plus 3 equals 0 gives me x equals negative 3. Now, x squared minus 1 does factor, but I want to kind of use this as an example. So I'm going to leave it like it is. X squared minus 1 equal to 0 gives me x squared equals 1. Take the square root of both sides, and I get x equals plus or minus 1. Now, what happens if it's x squared plus 1? Well, when you move that 1 over, it becomes negative 1. So you end up with x equals plus or minus the square root of negative 1, which is I. Now, what if we work backwards? What if we are given that the zeros are, let's just say, 1/2, 2, and 3i? How could we work backwards? Well, that means that the solution on one of them would have been x equals 1/2, x equals 2, and then we'd have x equals 3i. And now we just work backwards to get the factors. So that would have been like having 2x equals 1, or 2x minus 1 equals 0. Here, that one's easy, that's x minus 2. Here, now in a factored form, we're not going to have any i's, so let's square both sides. X squared equals 9i squared, which is going to give me negative 9. When I bring it back over, be plus 9. So my function would have been 2x minus 1, x minus 2, and x squared plus 9. Now, the more of these you do, the easier they get. Now, there are some complicated ones. Let's say that the zeros are 6 and 4 plus I. Now, that one's a little bit more complicated. So, on the first one, that's easy. X equals 6. X equals 4 plus I. Ugh. That one looks a little tricky. I know this one's easy. X minus 6. But what about here? Let's try moving that 4 over. Now let's square both sides. I get x minus 4 squared equals negative 1. That still doesn't look right. Maybe I should multiply this out. So x squared minus 8x plus 16 equals negative 1. X squared minus 8x plus 17 equals 0. Aha! Now I've got those factors. Now this one is an ugly one. Obviously it doesn't factor because it gives us an imaginary root. But that's all you have to do.